Hello guys, what is up? It's me, Cool here, bringing you guys another video, and today we're going to be going over the 2000 BCS National Championship Controversy Review. Now, I'm getting like so before I say this, say what I was going to say, please be sure to drop a like, don't forget to subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss a video. So, for the 1999 Division 1A football season, and during the BCS era, the main issues with the controversies were that certain teams would finish in a certain place in the BCS standings, but they would get no BCS Bowl invitation and be favored over another team. So we're going to be talking about the 2000 BCS National Championship, or otherwise known as the 2000 Sugar Bowl. So this team is really interesting because the 1999 Florida State Seminoles, now here's the thing, we talked about them in for the 1999 BCS National Championship controversy. Now, if you're ready for the 2001, put that on your notification bell. So, let's go over the Florida State schedule. So, they are considered the #1 team throughout all of this. They finished at #1. They continue to be #1 throughout all of this. One of their critical wins was September 11th against number 10 ranked Georgia. They were #1. Florida State won 41-35. It was a real close matchup. Then they won against Clemson on October 23rd. They won 17-14. Then they were matched up against Florida, so a #1 versus #3 ranked situation on November 20th. And that, I believe, was a critical matchup for, I think, Virginia Tech. Florida State won against Florida 30-23. Now, the talent that came out of this team is really interesting. So the 1999 squad had Anquan Bolden, Chris Weinke, Travis Minor, Laverinus, Coles, Peter Warwick, Marvin Minnis, Ron Duggins, Montre Holland, Ron Dorsey, Todd Williams, Darnell Dockett, Corey Simon, Alonzo Jackson, Sebastian Janikowski, Chris Hope, Tay Cody, Mario Edwards, Tommy Poley. So that's the squad for the Florida State Seminoles. Now time for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Now, this is a real interesting one. They were led by Michael Vick, and Michael Vick was in his freshman season. He led the Virginia Tech Hokies to its only, I believe only, I have to get this correct, their only national championship appearance, and that was back in 1999. And the Virginia Tech Cookies have won the ACC in 2004, 2007, 2008, and 2010. So but they haven't made it to the what is it, national championship in a while. So it's been a long time. So the Virginia Tech Cookies, they like literally soar through the first couple of games until November 6th against West Virginia, in which is a rivalry, Virginia Tech versus West Virginia, the Black Diamond Trophy. Virginia Tech won 22-20. Now, they did also face earlier in the season on October 2nd against Virginia, but at this time, they weren't good. Let's put it that way. They went 7-5 this particular season, 1999 college football season, but they weren't well. They weren't good. Let's put it that way. So let me think. Yeah. So out of this talent, out of these out of the players that got drafted into 2000 NFL draft, were John Engelberger, Ike Charlton, Corey Moore, Anthony Midget, Chiron Stith. 5 players. And Michael Vick, I have to say this, on Big East Rookie of the Year, Big East Offense Year, First Team All-American, Archie Griffin Award, the Heisman Trophy finalist in 3rd place. Yep. Now Corey Moore, won Big East Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous First Team All-American, Bronco Nagurski Trophy, Lombardi Award. So these guys were the anchors, I think, for offense and defense, respectively. Now, as you know, Florida State beat Virginia Tech 46-29 in the 2001 Sugar Bowl, or no, not 2001 Sugar Bowl, 2000 Sugar Bowl, or the 2000 BCS National Championship. Now, here's the thing. I am going to state this real quick right now. People are going to think, like, why do I put controversies where there really isn't one? For example, the 2009 BCS National Championship, Championship. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this right now. It's just simply because of the fact that you have to look at it where if there is an undefeated team and they're not selected, I will cover it. So, this season is no different. The Marshall Herd, from its long days of Randy Moss, they have a new GOAT in town, or college, not the NFL. Although this person will always be remembered. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, I'll say it later, but comment down below. This quarterback, okay, I have to state the quarterback's name. His name is Chad Pennington. I'm going to go over him real quick. His real name is James Chadwick Pennington. He is a former professional football quarterback who played 11 seasons in the NFL. He was named NFL Comeback Player of the Year twice. He was the leader in 2002 and 2008 in NFL completion percentage. So he was really efficient, and he was the NFL passing rating leader in 2002. And at the time of his retirement, he held the NFL record for completion percentage. He tried to do another comeback, but at that point, he has had so many injuries, and it was like we got like a what if kind of scenario. Also, I do think due to him, it's more of coaches and talent around him. The coaches around him, I think, and you have to understand the New York Jets at this time were not that good. So I have to give it to him. I have to give it to the coaches on the New York Jets. They were not that good. So that's one thing. The other thing is that during the Miami Dolphins, which they actually went 11-5 the first with him. Let me tell you, I'm going to state this, they did make the playoffs with the New England Patriots tying them, but due to tiebreakers, New England didn't make the playoffs. This was at the time that the NFL had 6 teams qualify for the playoffs on each side. So, yeah, right after that, those 2 good seasons, Chad Pennington, 2006 and 2008, he lost form. And I will say he is one of the greatest quarterbacks on the college football field, but on the professional football field, I don't know. But for Marshall Hurd, for what they did with Chad Pennington, and by the way, Chad Pennington has a son, and guess what? He's playing for, oh god, he is playing for the Marshall Hurd. His name is Cole Pennington. He's a redshirt freshman, and yep, that I think he will be a great quarterback for the Marshall Hurd. Now, could they succeed the same way with like Chad Pennington? We'll see. Now, on to this season. I wanted to talk about, Chad Pennington to honor his career for Marshall Hurd, his senior season. So, they won against a crucial game against Clemson, 13-10 on September 4th, and right after that, they just cruised way until the MAC championship game on December 3rd. They won 34-30 against Western Michigan. Then right after that, they faced off against the Motor City Bowl on December 27th because BYU is ranked 11th, and Marshall won 21-3. So what's interesting is, I have to state this, is that you can check the BCS rankings. The way it works is that during the final week, week 15, they check certain things, and one of the things they check is they check. So Florida State and Virginia Tech were from week 12 to week 15, they were consistent. Marshall, on the other hand, was moving up and up, and well, they were new in week 12. They moved up one spot, then another spot, then another, then they stayed the same in week 15. Now, the thing is, where would I put them against? Now, that's a good question. So, let's revisit the Virginia Tech game against Virginia Tech. Now, they didn't have a conference championship game. The Big East had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 teams. At the time, you needed 12 to make a sustainable. You needed to meet the then NCAA requirement that a certain conference needed 12 teams, college football, to conclude a conference championship. Now, for the Florida State Seminoles, it was kind of the same thing. I would have picked Marshall over Virginia Tech. Why? Because it just would have made sense. Now, record-wise, I would have put Marshall at number 1, then put Florida State at number 2, so that's just how it is. So, that's my take on that. Yeah. I know you guys are gonna get mad at me. I know you guys are gonna get mad at me and think, oh, Michael Vick should have started. He deserved. Well, technically he got lucky due to Virginia Tech, and he was the best during his time for Virginia Tech. And right after he left, Virginia Tech hasn't really been the same. Florida State, however, have put their place as a blue blood, I feel like, and that's the most important thing. They're blue bloods. Virginia Tech hasn't. Now at Marshall, now for Marshall, Chad Pennington versus Chris Weinke would have been a great matchup. Same thing for Chad Pennington versus Michael Vick. That would have been a great matchup. Either one of those two. But at the end of the day, I had to pick Marshall versus Florida State due to the fact that, well, Florida State played a very close matchup with Florida. Marshall did so well in their season. Virginia Tech literally like blew out their team against Boston College on November 26th, 38-14. So there you go. And since Marshall played a close game against Western Michigan and their conference in the MAC conference championship, and Florida State playing a very close matchup against Florida, I think that they both deserve to face off against each other. If it did happen, Chad Pennington in his senior season and Chris Weinke, two very, very important quarterbacks for their respective times, facing off against each other and seeing who would have won. Now, again, I would have put Marshall as the number 1 seed and Florida State as the number 2 seed. So, there you go. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Now, next video, I'm going to be doing another another national championship review. Yeah. You'll find out which one. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Y'all are legends in my book as well as for me. I will see you on the next one, and peace.